What if a fence shorter than your shrubs could make your garden feel unexpectedly grand? Welcome to luxury home decor, where small garden boundaries become big style statements and solutions. Stay a few minutes, because today's tiny fences deliver privacy, personality, and storage without heaviness. We'll blend seasonal tweaks, budget tricks, and timeless principles so every plank earns its place. Let's start designing borders that shape experiences instead of simply marking property lines or obligations. Think of your fence as a narrator, speaking softly yet steering how the story unfolds. In tiny plots, that voice must be concise, airy, and rhythmically repeated to calm minds. Choose slim slats, perforated metal, or lattice grids letting sunlight and breezes move freely through. Avoid heavy panels that bully blossoms. Prefer repetition, proportion, and open texture for harmony everywhere. Intentional framing keeps small gardens assertive, not cluttered, and every element feels invited to stay. Seasonal flexibility matters, because weather shifts faster than your long weekend DIY enthusiasm sometimes lasts. Use removable panels on hooks or channels, swapping reed mats for shields when winds bite. Paint fresh pastel hues each spring, then pivot to deeper tones that warm autumn evenings. Winter needs light. Consider translucent corrugated sheets that block drafts yet welcome precious morning sun. Your fence becomes wardrobe change central, stylishly adapting without demanding a full costly rebuild ever. Budget lovers, glance first at salvage yards, pallets, and leftover decking begging for reinvention today. Sand, seal, and staggerboard widths to create boutique rhythm using scraps nobody else wanted. Water-based exterior stains keep grain visible while providing color pops that weather gracefully over seasons. Top posts with inexpensive solar caps, letting twilight sparkle without hiring electricians or running cables. Small investments, multiplied intelligently, deliver that coveted luxurious finish on a shoestring-friendly schedule for sure. Vertical thinking unlocks storage, harvests, and decor when horizontal ground square footage is scarce anywhere. Mount staggered herb pots on cedar slats, keeping aromatics reachable while framing lively green mosaics. Clip galvanized buckets to mesh grids for tools, seed packets, gloves, and playful seasonal ornaments. Maintain breathable spacing so foliage stays healthy, yet group items close enough to read cohesive. Layering vertically turns boundaries into living storage walls, reducing clutter underfoot and energizing daily routines. Repetition soothes the eye, while contrast keeps curiosity alive. Balance both within tight spaces beautifully. Standardize board width or metal gauge. Then introduce a single deliberate texture shift for drama. Maybe smooth bamboo meets charred cedar, echoing ancient Shosugi band traditions on a budget. Keep palettes disciplined. 2 dominant textures, 1 accent, repeated confidently so voices never clash loudly. Plants remain protagonists, while fences support like elegant stagecraft, guiding eyes without stealing applause away. Color rewrites boundaries. Pale grays, misty blues, and creamy whites visually recede, expanding perception outward. Charcoal boards or deep greens add drama, yet overuse can compress space into shadowy corners. Try color blocking. Darker lower rails ground the garden. Lighter uppers lift sight lines skyward for grace. Gradient tricks subtly guide attention upward, a clever illusion making patios feel taller and airier. Shift shades seasonally to mirror blooms, creating narrative continuity and gentle anticipation between months beautifully. Sustainability elevates style when choices feel mindful, not merely trendy marketing sprinkled across projects everywhere. Train espaliered apples along wire frames, crafting a living fence that perfumes air and feeds. Dense rosemary hedges clipped into panels absorb sound, welcome pollinators, and echo Mediterranean courtyard romance. When timber is necessary, seek FSC certification or thermally modified options resisting decay without toxins. Finish with plant-based oils, letting wood breathe while aligning ethics, longevity, and relaxed, earthy luxury. DIY success thrives on modular thinking. Break projects into repeatable panels manageable over single weekends. Bolt segments to metal stakes, allowing quick swaps when seasons or tastes inevitably evolve again. Lattice supports peas each spring, shade cloth shields lettuce midsummer, corrugated plastic guards fall seedlings. This plug-and-play approach prevents burnout, because progress appears visibly complete after every short session finished. Flexibility protects budgets, creativity, and sanity, keeping momentum strong until frosts finally whisper goodbye outside. Optical trickery steals nothing yet gifts space. Mirrors, angles, and rhythm manipulate perception gracefully today. Mount shatter-resistant mirrors framed slim, reflecting foliage rather than neighboring bins or bland walls nearby. Angle slats diagonally to extend lines, or very heights to create a playful skyline effect. Such illusions invite curiosity, suggesting hidden paths beyond boundaries even when distances remain tiny outside. In miniature landscapes, imagination becomes architecture, making every step feel like discovery in progress daily. Hardware choices whisper quality. Even small screws, hinges, and latches sculpt your garden's tactile story. Choose concealed brackets or blackened lag bolts that read artisan rather than coldly industrial hardware. Scale strap hinges thoughtfully, ensuring strength without visual heaviness on a petite, charming gate installation. Select latches that click satisfyingly. Sound becomes another design layer, harmonizing user experience beautifully too. Every touchpoint should delight, transforming routine maintenance into moments of appreciation for crafted details daily. After dusk, thoughtful lighting extends function and atmosphere, turning fences into softly glowing sculptures outside. Thread low-voltage rope along top rails, or tuck fairy strands behind slats for shimmering diffusion. Uplight herbs with small spikes, casting dancing silhouettes that animate boards without glaring neighbors nearby. Plan wiring paths early, leaving discreet gaps so cords never dangle awkwardly or collect water. Good lighting equals ambience, subtle security, and nightly drama bundled into one efficient, enchanting boundary. Privacy without suffocation requires layering, not brute force walls that steal breezes and sunlight forever away. Combine semi-opaque boards with swaying ornamental grasses, whose rustle masks conversation while filtering sightlines gently. Add a bubbling fountain near boundaries to generate white noise that relaxes tense city soundscapes. Overlap staggered boards to block direct views, yet allow dappled light to keep foliage cheerful. Comfort depends on feeling unseen, unheard, and unconstricted. Luxury measured by serenity, not stubborn exclusivity alone. Mixing materials works when a unifying thread ties everything, otherwise the fence feels patched together. Pair corten panels with cedar posts, echoing warm rust tones hiding within the timber grain. Or unite painted steel grids and stone bases, so boundaries feel anchored, elegant, and modern. Keep to 3 materials maximum, repeating them in benches, planters, or lighting for cohesive storytelling. Consistency whispers sophistication, especially where inches matter and visual clutter multiplies instantly for small gardens. A petite gate can deliver theater, framing arrival like a well-edited entrance scene in film. Curve the top rail to soften geometry, or inset a porthole window granting borrowed views. Keep proportions human, narrow yet accommodating wheelbarrows when hinges swing fully on sturdy posts easily. Paint the interior face contrastingly, revealing surprise color each time someone slips through happily inside. These micro-moments anchor memory, proving scale never limits narrative power within thoughtful outdoor design practices. Family-friendly fences require smooth edges, rounded caps, and gap spacing slimmer than curious heads everywhere. Use chalkboard paint on one panel, inviting seasonal doodles and spontaneous garden lesson plans outside. Add a dog peek hole with a clear dome, keeping pups entertained while discouraging escapes. Consider low trellis tunnels for vines, doubling as kid forts without sacrificing botanical intentions anywhere. Good design embraces real living, balancing durability, whimsy, safety, and beauty under one concise philosophy. Plan maintenance from day one, turning upkeep into ritual rather than exhausting emergency rescue missions. Use screws instead of nails so panels swap easily, and document sizes for future reference. Elevate posts on metal anchors, keeping timber off damp soil that silently breeds rot below. Schedule a spring sanding day, follow with oil. Celebrate patina rather than panic over stains. When wear is predicted, aging becomes narrative, not neglect, and the fence gains character gracefully. Boundaries influence climate. Dark stains absorb warmth, while pale panels reflect heat during scorchers outside. Attach slim shelves holding pebble trays to boost humidity for tropicals, or dry herbs quickly. Shift fence heights subtly to deflect wind, protecting seedlings without building bunker-like, oppressive walls anywhere. Clever zoning means tomatoes bask on warm sections, while ferns nap beside cooler reflective surfaces. When plants thrive comfortably, the whole garden reads luxurious, because health and abundance feel extravagant. Fragrance layers another dimension. Mount fabric pouches or small pots with jasmine, mint, or alyssum. Every brush of movement releases aroma, subtly masking street smells and uplifting moods instantly too. Position scented zones near seating, gates, or frequently traveled paths so benefits meet real habits. Sensory design screams luxury quietly. When smell, touch, and sound harmonize, boundaries become experiences themselves. Thoughtful fences choreograph emotions, proving aesthetic choices matter most when they enrich everyday rituals deeply. Metal shines in dozes. Reuse railing scraps or perforated sheets as jewel-like inserts between timbers. Powder coat mismatched pieces one color so origins vanish and cohesion reads intentional, not accidental today. Perforations cast playful shadows across soil, changing hourly, adding movement without stealing physical space anywhere. Because panels detach easily, renters can remove them, preserving deposits while retaining personalized style forever. Adaptive boundaries respect transitions, acknowledging homes evolve while great design remains proudly portable for you. Color psychology guides mood. Soft greens calm, terracotta invites chatter, crisp whites refresh fatigued minds. Build reversible panels. One side tranquil sage, the other moody teal for evening cocktail sessions. Flip orientations with seasons or gatherings, renewing excitement without repainting entire boundaries again each year. Color becomes dialogue, reminding everyone design lives, breathes, and shifts with personal rhythms and seasons. Such flexibility feels luxurious because choice itself is a privilege thoughtfully baked into structure here. Patterns pulse energy. Chevrons energize, horizontals widen, verticals lift. Choose intentionally for spatial goals today only. Reserve bold geometry for a single hero panel, letting calmer sections support rather than compete. Echo that pattern elsewhere. A rug, cushion, or planter rim, to weave a unified storyline outside daily. Repetition across surfaces lowers visual noise, helping tight gardens feel curated, never cluttered or chaotic. Small spaces amplify messiness fast, so disciplined geometry acts like editing for the eyes daily. Fence-integrated planters save floor space and frame blooms exactly where eyes naturally travel each morning. Use waterproof liners, wicking cords, and shallow boxes so watering stays simple and efficient long-term. Choose trailing verbena, ivy, or nasturtiums that cascade gracefully, softening structure with animated green ribbons. Hanging at eye level reduces bending strain and increases engagement, turning care into joyful ritual. Blurring borders psychologically expands space, proving perception is a mighty tool for small gardens everywhere. Integrate seating with fencing. A built-in bench along the boundary multiplies utility elegantly for gatherings. Lift the seat lid for hidden storage, stashing cushions, tools, or kid toys away neatly. Align bench slats with fence boards so the visual line continues uninterrupted, stretching perceived width. Add a narrow fold-down table section for herb chopping, potting tasks, or evening drinks outdoors. Multifunctionality equals luxury in many spaces, because nothing feels wasted and everything earns presence today. Edges matter. Transition materials gracefully where fence meets soil, stone, or deck planking nearby outside. Use slim gravel strips to drain water, preventing splashback that stains boards and invites mildew. Insert a brick soldier course for heritage charm, repeating the hue else to maintain continuity. Soft plant skirts hide bases elegantly, merging hard structure with living movement at ankle height. Thoughtful junctions stop the eye from snagging, letting journeys feel fluid, deliberate, and restorative daily. Art belongs outdoors. Hang weatherproof prints, metal cutouts, or ceramic tiles directly on fence sections. Rotate pieces seasonally, using French cleats for secure yet effortless swaps that refresh storytelling beautifully. Consider a tiny chalkboard framed elegantly for quotes, menus, or plant reminders during busy months. Personal touches reinforce ownership, grounding rental spaces with soul without risking landlord disagreements later onward. A fence becomes gallery wall, showcasing your evolving tastes while remaining functional architecture simultaneously every day. Solar technology keeps improving. Tiny panels now power sensors, fairy strands, and motion path markers. Mount discrete chargers atop posts, wiring downward within hollow channels to avoid messy visual distractions. Timers and smart plugs automate evenings, switching scenes for parties, quiet reading, or nighttime watering. Use amber temperatures near bedrooms, keeping circadian rhythms happy while still lighting essential pathways outside. Tech should serve comfort, disappearing into design so experience feels seamless, not gadget-forward or cold. Soundscapes matter. Fences can host chimes, bamboo clackers, or subtle speakers streaming nature audio loops. Mount them where wind patterns nudge gently, avoiding constant noise that fatigue rather than soothe. Pair soft water trickles with rustling grasses, building layered calm that masks traffic without distraction. Sound design is underrated luxury, especially when indoors remains noisy and schedules rarely slow down. Curate every sense, and the smallest garden feels like an intentional retreat, never an afterthought. Edible fencing delights wallets and pallets. Espalier pears, runner beans, or cucamelons along supports beautifully. Grow vertically in pockets, rotating crops by season so nutrients recover and interest stays high. Label varieties neatly on reclaimed spoons, merging function, charm, and sustainability in one witty stroke. Harvest height fences motivate daily walks, making wellness part of the design rather than distant intention. When food climbs walls, boundaries feed body and eyes, worthy of real luxury home decor. Finishes shift mood dramatically. Experiment with lime wash, milk paint, or charred surfaces for depth everywhere. Matte absorbs light softly, gloss bounces brightness, satin balances both. Choose intentionally for climate realities nearby. Test patches on scrapboards first, watching color under dawn, noon, and dusk before committing. Seal edges carefully, especially end grains, because water sneaks there and shortens lifespan quickly dramatically. Proper preparation saves future hours, proving patience may be the cheapest finish available anywhere today. curves charm instantly. A gentle arc fence softens rectangles, guiding footsteps with subconscious invitation forward. Bend thin battens over flexible posts, or use segmented panels joined gradually to mimic curvature. Plant flowing grasses along arcs, reinforcing movement, while angular beds elsewhere provide grounding counterbalance beautifully. Curves steal inches but gift emotion, which matters more when space can't rely on quantity. Design should court feelings. Delight outlasts dimensions and keeps guests lingering longer than planned visits. Screens offer partial separation. Slatted dividers define zones without imprisoning air, light, or glances completely. Angle slats toward seating, blocking views from neighbors while preserving your favorite outlook across beds. Combine screen and shelf, displaying succulents on thin ledges that also visually thicken the divider. Movable screens on casters shift quickly during parties, transforming layouts without permanent construction headaches anywhere. Flexibility future-proofs spaces, letting gardens evolve gracefully with children, hobbies, and unpredictable seasons over time. Storage hides stress. Vertical tool racks on fences keep trowels handy and ground clutter absent. Use magnetic strips for shears, labeled hooks for hoses, and bins for seeds or twine. Color code handles to kid-proof tasks, making cleanup a game and reducing lost tool frustration dramatically everywhere. A tidy boundary feels larger, because chaos shrinks perception faster than any actual measurement can. Organization therefore becomes design, saving minutes and mental energy while gifting polished visual calm daily.